What is going on? This is your boy Jordan JC back again on the Chicago Bears Breeze. And today we got a good topic because we got to try to get that bad taste of that loss out of our mouth with the Washington Commanders. Now it's time as Bears fans, and it's time for the team to just continue to look forward to their next matchup. And so today I want to talk about the three keys that will allow us to win versus the Arizona Cardinals. We got three keys that we talked about even on the Morning Breeze. If you haven't checked it out, go over there to check out the Windy City Breeze, Morning Breeze with me and Pat the Designer. We kind of touched on three key matchups or three key areas that we think are important in order to lead to a victory over the Cardinals. And so I'm going to break down again my three keys as well. And let's get right into it. So my first key that I think will lead to a Bears victory over the Arizona Cardinals, I am directly honing in on Shane Waldron, our offensive coordinator. For whatever reason, it has been a disaster to start games. We have that the first quarter has been our Achilles heel, whatever you want to call it. It has been our crutch. It has been our the rock in our shoe, a thorn in our side, like whatever analogy you want to use. It has just been a problem. We have still only scored 10 points total for the entire season, 7 games now in the first quarter, and that is just absolutely unacceptable. Especially when the fact that you think about the scripted plays, the plays that the OC usually is supposed to put out there, looking at the team that we're playing against and saying, you know what, these are the set first 15 plays or so that I think will allow us to actually get down the field and score. And that's been the issue, right? Is we have not actually been able to get down the field and score, or at least be in range to kick a field goal. And that's the thing that has to change. We have to get off to a better start. Our offense is just too good on paper, too good talent-wise to not be able to score any points constantly in the first quarter. And then you're looking at us trying to, create these miracle comebacks and trying to piece things together after the half. We're a very good second half team, but the first half, it seems as if we're always still trying to play from behind, or we're behind the 8 ball. And so there has to be some sort of way where Shane Waldron has to concoct a better script, a better game plan against the opponent, especially with the numbers that you're talking about against the Cardinals. I mean, we just talked about how defensively ranked wise, like the Washington Commanders aren't world beaters. And they had some of their better players out, like a Jonathan Allen on that defensive line, and they still kind of caused a lot of havoc, caused a lot of pressure. And of course that some of that factors in to the offensive line not being as talented and being depleted and being injured. But I mean, you're talking about going up against a team in the Cardinals that is ranked 27th in total defense, 24th in points per game giving up, 26th in passing yards against per game, 26th in rushing yards against per game, 23rd in sacks, so they don't really create a lot of pressure in sacks, and 14th in interceptions. And so, simply put, you have a chance to truly dominate this team if you come out with a game plan and you hit them in the mouth, like you did all the other teams that were technically weaker competition, but this can get us right back on track. If we're talking about a must-win game, obviously this is a must-win game, and Shane Waldron has to make sure that he has his offensive coordinator hat on right this game. Like, he has to make sure he's working on all cylinders. Him and Caleb Williams have to be on the same page. The play calling has to be on the same page, and also get your best players involved. Like, we don't need to see any more of the few receptions to certain players. Like you need to make sure that you go to your superstar players and not go to an offensive lineman that doesn't usually carry the ball at the 1 yard line. Like, get your better players involved, which actually leads to my second key. Second key that leads to a Bears victory over the Arizona Cardinals is utilize your best players in DJ Moore. And specifically, I'm mentioning wide receiver 1. It has been utterly ridiculous, the amount of receptions and overall just numbers for the season for DJ Moore. I looked at it and I almost shook my head because I didn't realize just how bad these averages are. He's only got 33 receptions for the entire season. So if you break that down into 7 games, that's a little under 5 receptions a game for your first read, your first receiver, your best receiver, some would say. 341 yards for the season. 44 was his long as far as picking up a yard, and 3 touchdowns for the season. 3 touchdowns. 2 of them came in the Carolina game. And so what that tells me is that you're not going to your best players, your best receiver early and often. You're not getting him involved in the game. And this is why people are assuming that, the bad body language is there and, him huffing and puffing on the sidelines and looking like a lost child. Like those are the reasons why the media are making excuses and saying, hey, this guy is not happy. Well, I wouldn't be either. You just paid me a whole lot of money to be one of your better cornerstone receivers for the foreseeable future, and you're not getting me involved. You're not force feeding me. That's what you do with some of the better receivers in the league. You force feed them the ball. They don't necessarily have to be completely wide open. DJ Moore is a special enough of a talent where if you throw it up, he should be able to get those 50-50 balls more times than not. He is a tough cat when it comes to yards after contact. He is one of the better receivers when it comes to yards after contact. Now, the only area that I haven't seen improve or that he flourishes in is when you give it to him on the screen. For whatever reason, the defense is always ready when DJ Moore is back there. They key in on him as that guy they know is going to get the ball, because when you throw a screen past him, they're on it. So, I mean, take that out the game plan. But, I mean, when you're talking about 5 and in or, slant routes or obviously fly routes, like, get that guy involved more often. Usually your better receivers are getting 10 plus, 15 plus receptions a game. Justin Jefferson would not in any world be happy with 2 receptions one game and 4 receptions another. You need to get your guys involved. And so I need to see DJ Moore be a big part of this game plan, a big part of the passing game, because again, like I said, the Arizona Cardinals will give you chances to beat them. They are very lackluster when it comes to overall defense and the passing game defense. And so I need to see DJ Moore eat, just like we thought he was going to eat against the Commanders, with a track record of beating them and having that great his best game when it was last year versus the Commanders, and Justin Fields threw them for, I believe it was 3 touchdowns and over 200 passing receiving yards. Like, that's what we want to see. We want to see DJ Moore dominate, and so we got you. We need that to happen. That's the second key to a Bears victory. My last and final key, which is one that I think has been actually working, and surprisingly has been working more so this past couple of 4 games, which is a good thing to see, is utilize DeAndre Swift more. The past game against Washington, I felt like we kind of went away from DeAndre Swift in those moments where we needed him the most. Now, he had a great overall stat line of 18 receptions and over 100 yards receiving, or rather rushing, and he had a few receiving yards as well. Total in scrimmage yards over the last 4 games, DeAndre Swift has actually been killing. He has 533 scrimmage yards over his last 4 games. That is what you want to see out of your number one running back. The guy can do it all. He can run. He can also catch out of the backfield. You use that guy in screen passes. You've seen him be successful a lot. When you give it to him, you dump it off, you get a couple of linemen in front of him, and he's spinning and juking and jiving in throughout people and getting up the field. Like, that's exactly what you want to see from DeAndre Swift, and he has been on a heater. He has been earning his money. He has been earning every bit of his $8 million. I feel as the season has progressed. Kind of got off to a rough start, but we're starting to see the reason why Ryan Poles brought DeAndre Swift in as that first running back. And then, of course, you have Roschon Johnson. So again, utilize your running backs. Utilize DeAndre Swift more. There's nothing wrong with constantly going to your running back. Caleb Williams has said it many times in a lot of pressers. If he's not on, I have no problem turning around and giving it to DeAndre Swift if he's averaging 4 to 5 to 6 a pop. Well, DeAndre Swift has been averaging that much over the last 4 games. Turn around and give him the ball, especially if Caleb Williams is not accurate and there's some questionable throws, or there's just some weird throws where he's just not accurate, like the one to overthrow to Keenan Allen on the screen, or just like throwing behind players. Like, change up the game plan immediately and go back to what was working. And what was working the past few games was your run game. And so I think that you need to lean on that a little bit more. And so we'll see if those keys actually lead to a successful win, a Bears win. I think that at the end of the day, my prediction, the score 24-17, I feel like the Bears can win. It'll probably be a close game if I'm being completely honest, especially with some of the weapons that they have on the offensive side of the ball. Marvin Harrison Jr. is starting to really cook up and heat up as a special talent. You already knew that was going to happen. Kyler Murray is a guy that you always have to be account for, whether it be his mobility or his passing. I mean, I think he's a special talent as well. You have Trey McBride. There's certain people on this team that you have to account for in this game. And so I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think that the Bears will come out on top and think that they will lock back in and get refocused. But I think those are those keys that I mentioned, especially with Shane Waldron. I think there are certain parts of this team that we have to really lock in. And it starts with the OC. It actually starts also with the head coach. Obviously, I didn't mention Matt Eberflus, but I think that's like a dark horse pick as well. If you want to talk about those the players or the people that need to improve so that the Bears can win. And so we will see. Want to get you guys' thoughts on it. What do you think are the three key players that will lead to a Bears win? Do you agree with my picks? Do you have somebody else that you think will kind of shine or needs to shine during this game, whether it be on the defensive side as well? Just leave it in the comment section. Obviously, you know I'll be down there with you to discuss it. And as always, if you like this video, show some class. Comment, like, subscribe, share this video with others. I'll see you guys on the next Bears Breeze.